Alright y'all, I finally got an MRI done on my lower back. So in the case of whether or not I have a possible disc herniation, Vincent, you have a bulging disc. Oh wait, hold up. Not one,
not two, not three,
4 bulging discs.
Man, did this dude just did this?
So at the beginning of 2020, I transitioned over from powerlifting to calisthenics. I made a video detailing the process I made during my first year during the pandemonium. Year 2 was going pretty well for me until in July, I injured my back doing Jefferson curls. What I thought to be a single herniated disc turned out to be 4 of them. But that didn't stop me from continuing to work on my skills and strength, but it did limit a lot of my capabilities. So 2023 is just around the corner with me talking about this on the 31st. So I thought now would be a good time to do a 3-year recap of my calisthenics journey, with about half of it being spent with bulging discs. So first off, I want to discuss the impact that the disc injury had on my training. Having bulging discs compromises the integrity of my spine, so it lost a lot of strength and capability to withstand high pressure and impact. Any force that goes through my body gets concentrated in my lumbar area, so I had to completely cut out movements that either placed high pressure on it, involved flexing up the spine, or required spinal stabilization. So skills that I was working on that I had to sacrifice included handstands, L-sits, pistol squats, skin to cats, and dragon flags. I also stopped doing ring workouts because I felt like my body couldn't be able to progress as much as it could without this injury, and it also takes quite a while to set up. The biggest sacrifice was definitely stopping weighted bodyweight movements. I had built up a solid weighted dip and weighted pull-up, but because I didn't want to risk re-injuring myself, I completely cut them out and had stuck to doing bodyweight for the last year and a half. And as for powerlifting stuff, nope, I'm completely done with that. I'm never going to do a barbell squat ever again. I probably can't even deadlift that much right now, and I don't want to risk re-injuring my back. In bench, I had to give up the bench press too. The last time I tried to bench was a few months after my injury, and I was only able to go up to 115 pounds before I felt like my spine was going to snap in half. So no, powerlifting is off the table for good. The good news is while my body has gotten a lot worse with stability, I still retain most of my ability to generate power and strength. There are some movements where I was still able to make ample progress despite my injury, and the pain has been pretty manageable, so I've been able to stay active with playing basketball or doing jump roping. So with limited strength and ability, I've simplified my workout routine to pull, push, and sometimes legs. Yes, I straight up skip leg days now. Anyways, let's focus on the movements that I've been focusing on and what progress I've made on them. On my pull days, my focus would be on progressing my pull-ups and my front lever. My bulging discs have minimal impact on my ability to do pull-ups, but since I don't want to risk re-injuring them, I've only been doing bodyweight pull-ups. So instead of focusing on building strength, I've been focusing on building power by doing high pull-ups. My long-term goal is to be able to do a strict muscle up, but to get there, I have to be able to do a muscle up without kipping first. So I would practice my high pull-ups with assistance with either bands or kipping, and then I would practice strict high pull-ups, and then either rep out some regular pull-ups or wide pull-ups. So progression-wise, I went from being able to pull up to my chest to being able to pull up to my stomach with some kip, and just a few days ago, I was able to do a muscle up with minimal kip. Looking back at my 1-year progression video, I realized that when I was talking about developing my front lever, at the time, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. Like I was just hanging off the bar and I was somewhere between a hanging L-sit and an actual front lever. But once I realized that I had to push up my lower back to make it parallel with the floor, and I had to use my scapular strength to hold that position, then I started to make progress on it. Unfortunately, this is a skill that's heavily impacted by my bulging discs. At my best, I think I'm able to hold a full lever for maybe like 1.5 seconds. Otherwise, my best front lever progression would probably be like bent leg ones. I'm able to do a straddle front lever briefly, the advanced tuck for a little bit longer, and a tucked front lever for around 20 to 30 seconds at best. I also just started trying out some front lever rows. I also started developing a one-arm chin-up because I was bored and I wanted to do something challenging to develop my biceps. I started with band-assisted reps, working up to my thin red band, and right now I'm able to do 1 to 2 wrist-assisted one-arm chin-ups. My injury has made me pretty lackadaisical about being able to make progress while spending way too much time at the gym. So I've started simplifying my workouts so I could put some work in and then hot-foot it out of there. So my pull workouts would look something like this. Pull-up progressions, some form of lower back extension, front lever progressions, pull downs, cable rows, and some sort of bicep work. Now for my push days, the only things that I want to do is maintain my pushing strength and develop my plunge. I'm able to do them quite comfortably in a reverse wrist position, and I'm very close to being able to do them with fully straight arms. But I am able to do a bent arm version at any time. Ultimately, I want to be able to plunge with forward wrists, so I have been putting some reps in at closer angles such as sideways and at a slight forward angle. I've also been putting some reps in with some tuck flange holds on dip bars so I can do them on bars and parallettes later on. I've also started doing some tuck flange push-ups on the dip bars. Because my lower back gets put under a lot of stress during the movement, I do drop the holds pretty quickly. I believe that if I had a fully functional back right now, I would have a straight arm planche, and I would be able to hold it for about 20 seconds. At best, I was able to hold a pseudo bent arm plunge for a whole Instagram story, so 15 seconds. Aside from the plunge, I don't really have another focus on my push days. Doing dips right now really isn't optimal for me because of the injury, as when I'm healthy, I'm able to do maybe around 50 dips in a set, but right now I can do only around like 15 to 20 before pain starts settling in. So instead, I'll be doing seated machine dips, and I'll also put in some vanity accessories to develop my shoulders and chest a little bit. I don't do push-ups anymore either because my back limits my ability to pump out reps comfortably. At best, when I'm healthy, I'm able to do more than 50 reps in a set effortlessly, but now I can only do around like 15 to 30 before I want to stop. So a typical push day now looks like this. Tuck planche progressions on dip bars, cable lateral raises, seated dips, reverse flies or single arm chest flies, and plunge progressions. As for legs, I don't prioritize training them at all. I don't obsess over having bigger or more defined legs. I've built them up to a pretty solid size thanks to powerlifting, and the only thing I want more from them now is like some jumping ability for like basketball. When I do choose to train them, I do exercises to cover each leg muscle and strengthen my knees with movements from the knees over toes program. I'd say my Nordic curl has gotten pretty solid, but aside from that, my priority is just maintaining my leg mass and mitigating pain from my knees. In regards to dealing with my bulging discs, the best practice to alleviate the pain has been to do the stretches advised by my PT that I described in the video on my injury. Since I can't do anything to speed up the recovery process, the only thing that I can do is mitigate the pain. I've been quite lazy with doing these stretches, but occasionally I will do them at the end of a workout. They do help with mitigating the pain for a little bit, but naturally my back will tighten up again because I spent way too many hours sitting down like this. Despite my injury, I was able to hit my peak physique this year. My body is pretty much at its limit in terms of muscle building, so the only thing that I can do is control how lean I am through my diet. I was at my leanest this year in September when I disciplined myself for a few weeks with my diet and training to look diced at the day club. This was the first time I've been under 150 pounds since I started powerlifting many years ago, and immediately after taking these pictures to showcase this, I stuffed myself with some fries. Once these holidays are over and I'm back in Vegas being Mr. Solo Dolo again, I'm gonna get back on the grind and try to get even more diced than last time. So yeah, despite having the most debilitating injury of my life, I was still able to make ample progress on my skills and my physique. One of the main reasons why I started doing calisthenics is because I wanted to be able to do cool skills in public, and I was able to do some of that throughout the year. As far as my injury timetable, most people have reported healing from herniated discs within 2 years, and with me being a year and a half in, I'm hoping it heals up sometime next year pretty soon, as I know I'm leaving a lot of gains on the table. I'm excited to see what type of progress I can make next year, and hopefully be able to share the story of me making a full recovery. So yeah, that's it for this video. Support your boy and like the video, leave a comment if you have something to say, and subscribe to stay in the loop for any future content that I make. Also, join the Discord if you want to get in on some base discussions on fitness, dating, and other self-improvement topics. That's it for this year. I'll see you guys in 2023. Bye-bye.